Hey there guys, and welcome back. Today is the release date for the new Magic the Gathering set Kaladesh. So I've got a booster box here that I'm going to open up for you guys. I've actually purchased a case of the set because I like to try and build up a playset binder of the set pretty early on in case I need to play any of it in standard. I was going to do this video as the first box I opened from the set, but because of the weather I actually had to do this video later than I initially wanted to. So I have actually opened two boxes from this case already. That's some pretty decent pulls, but hopefully we're going to get something good from these packs too. So there are 36 packs in here. What we're looking for is well, any mythic is always nice. And of course we're looking for the Kaladesh Inventions, which are special cards within the set. I think it's 30 different ones in the set. Only 5 of them actually appear within Kaladesh themselves. The rest are reprints of older powerful Magic cards. And they have a really nice foiling process that's similar to the expeditions from the Battle for Zendikar card block. Okay, so let's have a look at pack 1. Sky Whaler's Shot, Consulate Surveillance, Speedway Fanatic, and our first row is Key to the City. And the reason that we want the Inventions is because the Inventions are by far away the most valuable cards in the set. Although actually I think some of the Inventions of the Gear Hulks are still a bit cheaper than Chandra, because Chandra is the most sought after mythic in the set. Yeah, Oval Chase Daredevil, Cloud Blazer, Refurbish, and our first mythic is Metallurgic Summonings. 3 blue for an enchantment. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, create an XX colorless construct artifact creature token, where X is that spell's converted mana cost. Pay 3 blue, exile Metallurgic Summonings, return all instant and sorcery cards from your graveyard to your hand. Activate this ability only if you control 6 or more artifacts. I didn't actually read out the rare from the first pack, I'll do that now. Keep the City is a 2-mana artifact. Tap, discard a card. Up to 1 target creature can't be blocked this turn. Whenever Keep the City becomes untapped, you may pay 2. If you do, draw a card. So between the pre-releases and the first 2 boxes I've opened, I do actually already have 2 Inventions. I have a Lotus Petal and I have a Mox Opal, both of which are obviously super nice cards. Mox Opal's pretty playable in Modern, and Lotus Petal sees a decent amount of legacy play. We have Aetherborn Marauder, Cloud Blazer, Quicksmith Genius, and Marionette Master for black for a 1/3, Fabricate 3, which means whenever the creature enters the battlefield, you can either put 3+1/+1 counters on it, or create 3 1/1 colorless servo artifact creature tokens. And whenever an artifact you control is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, target opponent loses life equal to Marionette Master's power. It's pretty cool. So basically the way that works is if you have a lot of other artifacts, you maybe want to make it a 4 power, just so that your opponents lose a lot of life whenever one of them dies. But if you don't have other artifacts, you can just keep it as a 1/3 and make some servos, and then drain for the additional point of damage when they die. You have Contraband Kingpin, Durable Handicraft, Perpetual Timepiece, and Territorial Gorger, 3 in a red for a 2/2 trample. Whenever you get 1 or more energy counters, Territorial Gorger gets +2/+2 until end of turn. So the reason, as I was saying, I do a playset binder for every Magic set when it comes out. So I try and obtain 4 of every card, just in case I do need to play that card in standard at all. Got Harsh Scrutiny, Nature's Way, Servant of the Conduit, and our rare is Midnight Oil. 2 black for an enchantment. Midnight Oil enters the battlefield with 7-hour counters on it. At the beginning of your draw step, draw an additional card and remove 2-hour counters from Midnight Oil. Your maximum hand size is equal to the number of hour counters on Midnight Oil, and whenever you discard a card, you lose a life. When I was living back in England, I had a local store that would just, on release day, sell me a playset of commons, uncommons and rares, plus 1 of each mythic, which was why I didn't actually do any Magic box openings or anything like that, because I already had the cards. But here I couldn't find a store to do that, which is why I've ended up buying a case. We have Underhanded Designs, Sky Whaler's Shot, Aether Meltdown, and the rare is Paradoxical Outcome. 3 in a blue. Instant, return any number of target non-land, non-token permanents you control to their owner's hand. Draw a card for each card returned this way. So this may continue for future Magic sets, depending on if I can end up buying a playset, or whether you guys just enjoy the videos. Because if you guys enjoy the videos, I may be more likely to buy sealed product rather than the sets. And it depends on how much I actually get from the case of a set as to whether it's worth it. We have Emerald Bruiser, Era of Innovation, Gear Shift Ace, and our rare is Spirebluff Canal, the blue-red fast land. It's a land that taps for blue or red and enters the battlefield tapped unless you control 2 or fewer other lands. The full enemy half of the cycle is in Kaladesh. The allied half of the cycle was actually printed quite a while back in Scars of Mirrodin, and people have wanted the set to be finished off for quite a while since then, so it's really nice that that set of lands is now finished. And a lot of them are going to be very modern playable, I think, especially the blue-red one and the black-green one. Emerald Bruiser, Inventor's Apprentice, Minister of Inquiries, and a rare is Electrostatic Pummeler. 3 mana, 1/1 artifact creature. When it enters the battlefield, you get 3 energy counters, and you can pay 3 energy to give it +X/+X until end of turn, where X is its power. That's quite an interesting one. I'm going to put this up here so we can keep track of what mythics and everything we get from the box. From what I've seen, I think boxes usually give you 4 mythics, which is a nice number to be able to get a hold of just from one box. At least the first 2 boxes in this case give us 4 mythics each. Okay, we have Arborback Stomper, Aetherborn Marauder, Aether Hub, and the rare is Metalwork Colossus, an 11 mana 10/10. Metalwork Colossus costs X less to cast, where X is the total converted mana cost of non-creature artifacts you control. Sacrifice 2 artifacts, return Metalwork Colossus from your graveyard to your hand. He works pretty well with the vehicles in the set, which are not creatures when they come into play, but pretend to become creatures. So if they're not creatures when you decide to play them, they reduce his mana cost. And then, of course, he can crew them straight away, which is pretty nice. Okay, we have Shrewd Negotiation, Aether Meltdown, Incendiary Sabotage, and our rare is Blooming Marsh. This is the green-black fast land. Enters the battlefield tapped unless you control 2 or other other lands. That was a bit of a mouthful when it didn't need to be. The lands are definitely one of the ones I hope I try and get my playset of just from the case, because they're some of the more expensive rares which are in the set. Okay, we have an Elegant Edgecrafters, a Whirler Maker, Campbell Consul of Allocation. Oh, he's the rare. He's a 1 white-black for a 2/3 legendary creature. Whenever an opponent casts a non-creature spell, that player loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. Does that mean I missed a... Wispy Rangel. I missed that uncommon. And we have a foil Terror of the Fairgrounds. We're on Earth pack number 12, so we are now 1/3 of our way through the box. Let's see if we can get something good. Got a Chief of the Foundry, an Aethertorch Renegade, a Restoration Gearsmith, and there is Fumigate, 3 white. Destroy all creatures, you gain 1 life for each creature destroyed this way. I know that anyone who plays white-based control deck has been pretty excited for Fumigate, because a Wrath that also gains you lots of life is a really good way just to get back into it. If you're playing a slower game and you're against an aggro deck, if you survive to turn 5 and can Wrath their board and gain a substantial amount of life, then you've probably taken over the game at that point. We have a Fairgrounds Warden, Glimmer of Genius, Servo Exhibition, and there is a Master Trinketeer, 2 and a white for a 3/2. Servos and Thopters you control get +1/+1, and you can pay 3 and a white to create a 1/1 colour Servo artifact token. And we have a foil Rush of Vitality. That Master Trinketeer I actually played in one of the pre-releases, and if he survived for a turn or 2 just to be able to pump out a few servos, he was really good. just adding that much power to the board, they kind of have to deal with him pretty quickly. Okay, we have a Whirler Virtuoso, a Refurbish, an Experimental Aviator, and a Captured by the Consulate, 3 and a white for an enchantment. Enchantment aura, enchant creature you don't control, enchant creature can't attack. Whenever an opponent casts a spell, if it has a single target, change the target to enchant creature if able. That's pretty good. And we have a foil mountain. Okay, on to the next pack. Kaladesh does have a very artifact-heavy theme, as you will have seen. There's a lot of either artifact cards or cards that work well with artifacts. That's just based on the world that it's in. We have Oval Chase Dragster, Long Tusk Cub, Whirlmaker, and our rare is Cultivator's Caravan, a 3-mana 5/5. Tap to add 1 mana of any colour to your mana pool, and crew 3. The crew means obviously not 5/5 all the time. It has to be crewed by creatures with power 3 or more total in order to become a creature. But until then, it mana ramps you, which is nice. Okay, we have got Voltaic Brawler, Essence Extraction, Gear Shift Ace, and a rare is a Beaumont Courier, a 1-mana 1/1 with haste. Whenever it attacks, exile the top card of your library face down. You pay 1 and a red, discard your hand, sacrifice Beaumont Courier, and put all cards exiled with Beaumont Courier into their owner's hands. Oh, and a foil Fumigate, that's pretty nice. So hopefully those control players will be after that one. I don't collect foils at all, I don't like to play with them, so they don't become part of my playset binder. So any foils I get, I will be just trading into the local store for credit in order to try and finish off the playset for anything I don't actually get from the boxes. We have an Arborback Stomper, Harsh Scrutiny, Creeping Mold, and our rare is Saheeli's Artistry. 4 blue for sorcery, choose one or both. Create a token that's a copy of target artifact, or create a token that is a copy of target creature, except it's an artifact in addition to its other types. It's a pretty cool one. On to the next pack. I think we're about halfway through the box now, I haven't actually counted exactly. Okay, we have a long-finned Sky Whale. I know a lot of people quite liked this one when it was revealed, because it's a Sky Whale. Chief of the Foundry. I did really like playing him in Origins, I'm glad he came back. Brazen Scourge. And our rare is a Dynavolt Tower, 3-mana artifact. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, you get 2 energy. And you can tap and pay 5 energy, and Dynavolt Tower deals 3 damage to target creature or player. So it's quite good if you're casting a lot of instants and sorceries, you're gaining a lot of energy, and then you can start bolting things, which is really nice. Okay. And in this pack we have got Essence Extraction, Brazen Scourge, Elegant Edgecrafters, ooh, and a Mythic Torrential Gear Hulk. 4 blue for a 5/6 with Flash. When Torrential Gear Hulk enters the battlefield, you may cast target instant card from your graveyard without paying its mana cost. If that card will be put into your graveyard this turn, exile it instead. So it has a similar sort of effect to Snapcaster Mage, except that you're casting the spell without paying its mana cost. But you're doing it also as part of the resolution, rather than just at any time during your turn. But I think it's the second most expensive Gear Hulk, because obviously the green one is just absurd. And I think that one's the second most expensive one. I think a lot of them are going to see play in Standard, probably all except the red one. Okay, we have an Iron League Steed, Veteran Motorist, a Glint Nest Crane, and our rare is Madcap Experiment, 3 and a red, sorcery. Reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal an artifact card. Put that card onto the battlefield, and the rest onto the bottom of your library in a random order. Madcap Experiment deals damage to you equal to the number of cards revealed this way. And we have a foil Cogworker's Puzzle Knot. Some people have been talking about playing the Madcap Experiment in Modern with Platinum Empyrean, which says that your life total can't change when he's on the battlefield. So if he's the only artifact you find, when you get him, he's on the battlefield and you don't take the damage, and then you have a giant creature. Okay, we have Fabrication Module, Gear-Up Guide, Ceremonious Rejection, and Inspiring Vantage, which is the red-white fast land, and it's battlefield tapped unless you control 2 or fewer other lands. That one is probably one that I personally am most likely to play, I think, because I tend to end up in a pretty aggro deck whenever I'm playing, and anything in Mardu colours is normally what I like, but definitely based red. Okay, we have Underhanded Designs, Quicksmith Genius, Consul's Shield Guard, and a rare is, I don't even know how to say that, Ovia Pashiri, Sage Lifecrafter. 1 green for a 1/2 legendary creature. Human Artificer. And you pay 2 and a green and tap to create a 1/1 colourless servo artifact creature token, or 4 and a green and tap to create an XX colourless construct artifact creature token, where X is the number of creatures you control. That's interesting. I lost to that one at pre-releases multiple times. If that thing stays in play for a couple of turns when they have 5 mana and you can't deal with it, it just gets absolutely out of control. They just make a 4/4, then make a 5/5, then make a 6/6, and by that time you're probably dead. Okay, Contraband Kingpin, Start Your Engines, Fairground Trumpeter, and our rare is Animation Module, 1 mana artifact. Whenever 1 or more +1/+1 counters are placed on a permanent you control, you may pay 1. If you do, create a 1/1 colourless servo artifact creature token, and you can pay 3 and tap. Choose a counter on target permanent or player. Give that permanent or player another counter of that kind. So you can give yourself more energy tokens. You can give your creatures more +1/+1 counters. If your opponent's creatures have anything on them that you want them to have more of, like if you're in a format where -1/-1 counters exist, you can use those. I don't think it's the best card, but it definitely has some uses. Some people would also want to try and use it to put counters on Planeswalkers, I think. Whether that's too slow or not, I'm not sure. Okay, we have an Engineered Might, a Blossoming Defense, Experimental Aviator, and our rare is Syndicate Trafficker, 1 and a black for a 3/1. Pay 1, sacrifice an artifact, put a +1/+1 counter on Syndicate Trafficker. It gains Indestructible until the end of turn. That one is also really scary to play against. I had to play against it at the pre-release, just because as long as they have artifacts, if they never tap out, then you can just never reliably get rid of it, unless you have something that exiles. Which I didn't. And it's always going to win combat. Okay, Iron League Steed, Morbid Curiosity, Trusty Companion, oh nice, and a Mythic. Vigorious Gear Hulk, 3 green for 4/4, artifact creature construct with trample. When Vigorious Gear Hulk enters the battlefield, distribute 4 +1/+1 counters among any number of target creatures you control. That is why that one is the best Gear Hulk, because yeah, that effect is just crazy. Like that one's going to see a lot of play in Standard. I think it's the 3rd most valuable card in the set, not counting Inventions. I think the only things more valuable are the Planeswalkers, Nissa and Chandra. But I'm going to get the Green Gear Hulk. I think I only have one of those so far at my other boxes. Okay, we have a Bomat Bazaar Barge. That's hard to say. Incendiary Sabotage, Durable Handicraft, and a rare is Dipala Pilot Exemplar. 1 red/white for a 3/3 legendary creature, Dwarf Pilot. Other dwarfs you control get +1/+1. Each vehicle you control gets +1/+1 as long as it's a creature. Whenever Dipala Pilot Exemplar becomes tapped, you may pay X. If you do, reveal the top X cards of your library, put all dwarf and vehicle cards from among them into your hand, and put the rest at the bottom of the library in a random order. A lot of the stuff, people, there's a lot of people they want to crew vehicles, so they give them effects that happen when they become tapped rather than when they attack, because if they become tapped to crew a vehicle, then you also get the effect, and she's one of the more powerful ones that they put together. Okay, Unlicensed Disintegration, Filigree Familiar, Spark of Creativity, and the rare Botanical Sanctum, that is the green-blue fast land. I think we've seen 4 out of the 5 fast lands in this box so far. I think the only one we haven't seen is the black-white one, whose name escapes me currently. But I do know I definitely have a few of those because I got a couple of those at the pre-releases. Okay, coming towards the end of the box, we have Unlicensed Disintegration, Demolition Stomper, Armorcraft Judge, and Arrow's Toolcraft Exemplar, 1 white for a 1/1. At the beginning of combat on your turn, if you control an artifact, Toolcraft Exemplar gets +2/+1 till end of turn. If you control 3 or more artifacts, it also gains first strike until end of turn. Some people have talked about that going in Tempered Steel Affinity in Modern, just because having a 1-drop that attacks as a 3/2 first striker most likely on turn 2 is pretty powerful. I don't know whether it is powerful enough to go in the deck, but I think a lot of people are definitely going to test it out. Okay, we have Engineered Might, Oval Chase Daredevil, Perpetual Timepiece, and Arrow's Smuggler's Copter, another one that people want to try out in Affinity, and one that I think is probably going to go a lot better. 2 mana 3/3 artifact vehicle, flying, and whenever it attacks or blocks, you may draw a card. If you do, discard a card and crew 1. So I think the goal for Affinity is play that on turn 1 alongside a Memnite, and turn 2 crew the vehicle and start attacking for 3 in the air while looting. That's one of the problems Affinity has. If you ever draw too many lands, the game can just end, but if you're able to loot away any additional lands, that's just a really powerful effect for the deck. Fairgrounds Warden, Snare Thopter, Janjeet Sentry, and Aurera's Dubious Challenge, 3 in the green for a sorcery. Look the top 10 cards of your library, exile up to 2 creature cards from among them, then shuffle your library. Target opponent may choose one of the exile cards and put it onto the battlefield under his or her control. Put the rest onto the battlefield under your control. I'm not sure what that card is for, because your opponent always gets first choice of the 2 creatures, and they don't have to take one. So even if they're both creatures with a downside, they don't have to get one of the creatures. So I'm not sure where that card's intended to go, but it's there anyway. Okay, Nature's Way, Visionary Augmenter, Sequestered Stash, and our rare is Aetherflux Reservoir. 4 mana artifact. Whenever you cast a spell, you gain 1 life for each spell you've cast this turn. Pay 50 life. Aetherflux Reservoir deals 50 damage to target creature or player. We have a foil Eddy Trail Hawk. That one is another one that people are trying to build around the Aetherflux Reservoir and saying whether there is some sort of storm variant that it can get, or whether there's just something in standard that's able to cast a lot of spells in one turn. I don't know how well it's going to go. It seems a bit fragile of a combo, but we'll see. Bomat Bizarre Barge, Harness Lightning, Fairgrounds Trumpeter. Oh, and another mythic, Dovin Bane, Planeswalker. 2 white blue, starts on 3 loyalty, +1 until your next turn. Up to 1 target creature gets -3, -0, and its activated abilities can't be activated. -1, you gain 2 life and draw a card. And -7, you get an emblem with your opponents can't untap more than 2 permanents during their untap steps. So that's a really nice one. And we have a foil Glint Nest Crane. Okay, we're down to the last few packs, another 4 packs to go. So we've got what should be our mythics for the box, but you never know, there might still be an invention or something hiding away in the back there. So let's see what we get. We have got a Fabrication Module, Harness Lightning, Diabolic Tutor. A lot of people have been saying they don't like the artwork on this one, but I quite like it. Whoops, dropped a pack there. But I quite like it, mainly because I think I quite like Chandra, her being a big red planeswalker and me being a red mage, and Liliana's pretty cool too. I just like the artwork, it looks quite cool. And Aetherstorm Rock is our rare, 2 white for a 3/3 flyer. Whenever Aetherstorm Rock or another creature enters the battlefield under your control, you get an energy counter. Whenever Aetherstorm Rock attacks, you may pay 2 energy. If you do, put a +1/+1 counter on it, and tap up to 1 target creature defending player controls. One of the best cards in Limited, I think, is pretty much everyone's take on that one. Definitely Windmill Slam first pick in draft, and almost always going into a sealed deck. It's one of the definitions of a limited bomb, I think. I mean, so are the mythics, but still, that's one of the limited bomb rares. Okay, Decoction Module, Console Shield Guard, Disappearing Act, and a rare is Eliminate the Competition. 4 and a black sorcery as an additional cost to cast, eliminate the competition, sacrifice X creatures, and you destroy X target creatures. Really good if you have a ton of 1/1 servos and your opponent has a lot of big creatures. Okay. 2 packs to go. Let's see what we get. We have got a Wispweaver Angel, a Demolition Stomper, a Visionary Augmenter, and a rare is a Lathnu Hellion. 2 and a red for a 4/4 haste. When Lathnu Hellion enters the battlefield, you get 2 energy counters. At the beginning of your end step, sacrifice Lathnu Hellion unless you pay 2 energy. It's pretty good. And we have foil Servo Exhibition. Okay, on to the last pack. Let's see. Don't know what we want. Let's see if we get an invention. Invention would be great, but maybe we get the last fast land that we didn't get yet in the box. Let's find out. Okay, we have got a Shrewd Negotiation, a Noble Chase Dragster, Brazen Scourge, and the rare Concealed Courtyard. The white-black fastland. We have now seen one of each of the fastlands in this box. That's pretty cool. Okay, I genuinely didn't know that was there. Obviously, that was a sealed pack, but quite funny. Cold shot. Okay, so decent box. 2 Gear Hulks, including the green one, a Dovin Bane, and a Metallurgic Summonings. So, not the worst. Hopefully I'm going to get some good stuff in the rest of the case, which I do need to go and open now. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Just let me know in the comments if there's anything you would have preferred, anything you think I should have done differently. And just let me know if you do like Magic product openings, because hopefully I will be able to get some more of those up soon. And as always, thanks for watching, and hopefully I will see you guys next time.